First, I really do appreciate this company. We have done business with a lot of different companies in the past, both in the pharmaceutical business and other things, and I've got to say it's been a pleasure working with this group. They've been super partners, and that's what we're looking for in this, and they've certainly done a great job. Let me tell you how these products work. They are very synergistic. One thing I would tell you is they are made to use together. There are three factors that really work to make this come together to save fuel. Now, this does a whole lot more than just save fuel, but Americans want to see immediate return. So I'm going to tell you where they're going to get their long-term return, but they're going to get an immediate return with these products. With a combustion engine, which is not terribly efficient, about 30% of the fuel is used just to power itself. Before any power gets to that powertrain to the wheels, there's about a 30% consumption of fuel to get to that point. So there is a lack of efficiency there. One of the things we really started with back in the 80s is how could that become more efficient? How could the engine itself become more efficient to where it isn't consuming 30% to get to power? And one thing we saw is oil companies did a great job of doing what oil companies do, which is making a product that's a cushion, a coolant, and one that takes the acids out of the engine, because a piston engine will also cause all kinds of acids, as you probably know. So it does those three things very nicely. What they never addressed is how could we really reduce the friction of metal. Metal's very porous. If we could take that metal and make it not so porous, then we're going to make more efficiency and not consume that 30% before it gets to the powertrain. So with the lubricant, what we came up with is something, and this we went through a lot of effort, something that does not alter one aspect of the oil. Why we're so confident about how this product works and that there's no negative side effects is because we went through major efforts to make certain we don't change the viscosity, that we don't alter any of the acid capability to take that acid out of the engine. The drug business, you'll get a drug that does great things, but it may make your hair fall out. Now, you know, if it's life or death, who needs hair? But in the drug business, there's always trade-offs. The one thing I can tell you about the metal conditioner is there's no trade-off. We had to give zero trade-offs. At any temperature, it doesn't alter viscosity of oil. Oil changes viscosity at different temperatures, obviously. And that's very measured out by oil companies. They don't want you monkeying with their viscosity at different temperatures. We went through to show that at any given temperature, we're not going to make it less viscous or more viscous. Okay? We went through $300,000 worth of tests to show that we do not alter in any way their TAN numbers. Don't try to help it. Now, I came up with an additive 12 years ago that will increase their TANs. In other words, we'll take more acids out of the oil than the oil itself. I find it's better to leave those guys to the oil side, change your oil when you need to. Let's don't try to extend the life of it. We did come up with a product that would extend the life double of oil. But then you do get into a controversy with oil companies. We like to live very nicely with them and not do anything to alter what they do for your vehicle. We don't put any solids. This thing can go through a 3-micron filter. There is not an element out there that you couldn't use this in. Now, how does it work? When there's heat in the engine, the metal becomes more porous. Our product does not work in a cold engine. You could put it in there, it's not going to do a thing until the first time you start that engine up. It is like a magnet to those pores once there's heat. The whole thing is activated by heat. I'll give you an illustration. We went into people that did drill bits, very expensive diamond drill bits. We're talking thousands of dollars a bit. They had it down to a science. They could do 1,322 holes, and then it would become where they had to throw it away because it just wasn't a clean cut. We first tried to just let them soak in our stuff and use them. Didn't help. They came to me, they said, why isn't it working? I mean, it works so well in every other application. Well, by the time they take it out and it dries off and it gets hot, it's not there to go in. So what we said, okay, let's do this. Heat that up in ovens. Get an oven, like a pizza oven, take it up to a high temperature, soaking in the product, and see what happens. They got 3 times more clean hose, than they were getting prior to the treatment. So we went from no change at all with no heat to tripling their investment with these very expensive bits. It's got to have heat. The beauty of this product, it can be used in a transmission. Transmissions, by the way, folks, no combustion in that transmission, nothing but heat. Very, very close tolerances. Gears that you put anything like a solid into a transmission, you've got a problem within a few miles. This works beautifully, will go through the filters of a transmission without any issue. Really, I can tell you, you can put this in any lubrication circumstances you want, and you're not going to see a problem. People say, okay, can I put it into 2-cycle where we're mixing the oil with the gas before? See what happens. If you ever had, a lot of those types of engines tend to have a lot of dryness, maybe where they'll go a period of time and they'll burn up because of the fact that they're not getting lubricated properly. 2 cycles are very interesting, and they don't last as long due to that. Use it a few times, and then see what happens for the life of that 2-cycle.